Hello everybody, it's Bill's That College Football Guy here with another video. I'm here at a drop yard outside of Nashville. Everybody on X went nuts yesterday about when the AD of Miami said about the fact that if the SEC goes to 9 games, we have to go to 9 games ourselves, and whatever the hell else terminology he used about splitting the conference up into divisions and put the high value brands in one and then less than high value in another to maximize TV deals and everything else, and everybody ran with it. Now, 2 great videos came out that I saw. One, shout out to Greg Pflugar, Peek Around the Corner with Greg Pflugar, did a fantastic live stream on it. You can go check that out. And Kuz from Kuz's Corner did another fantastic video on it. So check both of them out. They both do great content. But I look at this as a nothing burger. It doesn't mean anything. It's worthless to me. It's worthless. Because here's the thing. Everybody's saying on this to go this, they on there, and you look at it and like, oh my God, it's going to be all this crazy stuff, and they'll put North Carolina and Miami and Florida State and Clemson and who are the 8 and like the division, like somebody would put up there and actually put up the fact that there'd be 8 schools plus Notre Dame in one division and then the 9 lesser ones in the other division. Who'd be that? And oh my God, we got all these problems going on here and everything else, and this is on there. And I got to give credit to Greg Pflugar, who said a great quote from him. Full credit to him. If this actually goes through, this is dissolution of the conference without the lawyers. And it basically would be. Except for one problem, not happening. Number one, it's so boneheaded it wouldn't happen. And number 2, by the time it actually did happen, it wouldn't matter. It'd be irrelevant. And Notre Dame may even not want to do it at that point. Okay, what the hell am I talking about? Everybody was looking at the statement, and they was, we have to go to 9 games. The first sentence ended it. When the SEC goes to 9 games, stop. That's where the conversation should have ended. Because those in the know one thing. Now, one of the worst kept secrets in college football, that the SEC does plan to go to 9 games, and they plan on having a scheduling agreement with the Big Ten, with both conferences having the same number of schools and the same number of conference games. The Big Ten wants to go to 20. The SEC, ESPN has basically given the pro rata for them to get 17 through 20. Now, I've said this before. I believe there is a handshake agreement in 2031, 30, 32, whatever the blue hell it happens. A handshake agreement between Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey that the SEC has to go first. They're going to grab 2 schools. Then the Big Ten's going to grab their 2. And then the SEC will grab their last 2 to avoid lawsuits. Because SEC grabs the top 4 brands off the jump. They're going to be mad and everything else and loves problems. Avoid it. Do 2. Yes, Big Ten takes 2. Because here's the clue. The 3 schools that the Big Ten is targeting, Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech, the SEC doesn't care about it. None of them. They don't care about Florida State. They don't care about Georgia Tech and Miami. I've said this before. If Miami was on fire, the SEC would show up with a couple thousand gallons of gasoline and a truckload of marshmallows and watch it burn, because there's a lot of legit hatred from some people within the SEC and Miami over comments made about the lack of education in SEC schools, including targeting Vanderbilt, which was a dumb look. But that's beside the point. ESPN wanted 9 conference games from the SEC. Problem is, they didn't want to pay for it. Now, what am I talking about here? The Big Ten has got a media deal of, was it like $80 million, 75, 80 million this year? 75 million? Whatever it is. Among 9, when you get a media deal, your non-conference games really don't count on the media deal. It's based upon your conference games, because that's guaranteed. That's where the media deal is based on. Non-cons are a bonus. So let's say it's 75 million, 9 games, that's $8+ million a game. The SEC is making 60 with 8 conference games, which is about 7.5 a conference game. They wanted to go to 9, but they didn't want to increase to 60. And then ESPN, that's the whole reason why this little crazy crackerjack schedule we've had for the last 2 years, that's the whole reason. I think I fully believe, a lot of people I know on the SEC I talked to believe the fact that this was Sankey and the conference's retaliation for not wanting to pay for the deal. You're going to get this scheduled for 2 years. And then ESPN announced that they will pay for pro rata for 17, 18, 19, and 20. They will pay for a 9th game and pay more per game for all 9 games. The initial offer was $1 million per. The SEC countered with $4 million. If you want the schools you want, and we don't get to pick who we want, $4 million more per game. That'd be an extra $36 million on top of the extra money for the game. But $1 million per game, if you just get that, if you do $7.5 million, $8.5 million times 9, $76 million. Adds up. So, they're agreeing to do that. And they will pay for the 9th game and and the extra money per game for all 9 games, provided the SEC provides additional content. In other words, you get 17 through 20, you go to the 9th game schedule, we'll pay you for the 9th game, and we'll pay you more per game. But you've got to get to 20 first. You got to get the additional schools. The conversation should have ended there, because the fact is, when the SEC goes to 9 games, the SEC will go to 9 games after they've already gone to 20 schools, which means the ACC will have been rated before the SEC ever goes to 9 games. So, if this was going to happen, what 6 schools are going to leave? Well, North Carolina will go. SEC wants them. So does the Big Ten. Clemson, Florida State, Miami. Those 4. It could be NC State or whoever else. You could pick the 2. But and there could be a Big 12 school going. Kansas is still on the radar. It's getting further and further back on the list, but still depends on how things move, parts move. But the point is, the ACC loses a bunch of schools. We're going to blurficate or bifurcate, whatever the freaking hell they're going to do with the damn conference. Divide it into divisions. What brands are the top brands at that point? With Clemson and Florida State and Miami and North Carolina and everybody else gone, including there's a possibility at that point, and it's a remote chance both ways, of ACC schools going to the Big 12 and Big 12 schools going to the ACC. Both are remote at best, but both are technically possible, because it all depends on who leaves and what the hell happens afterwards, because it's guessing game. So, by the time this Nothing Burger would happen, it wouldn't mean anything, would it? Because think about it. Let's just do a little exercise right now. Let's say the ACC does lose 6 schools. Let's say the 6 are Miami, Georgia Tech, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, NC State. Florida State doesn't get their academics done on time. This is for example. This is example, okay? Florida State at the time, the Big Ten takes Miami and Georgia Tech. The SEC takes Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, and NC State, because they still couldn't separate the 2. I'm just doing those 4 for an example. Who are the top brands in the ACC at that point? Duke, Louisville, Stanford, Notre Dame would want to play. Pitt, Virginia Tech, Virginia. Stop right there. Think Notre Dame's going to give a damn about that? Because there's one question no one's ever answered. And I'd like an answer from this one. If Notre Dame decided to end the ACC scheduling agreement early, what's the penalty clause for them doing it? As far as I know, I have never heard word one about that. Is there a buyout they could pay to get out? Could they? Is it possible? Anything's possible. Would they do it? No. I mean, like, the fact is that the ACC lost 6 football schools. 6 schools, full members. They're down to 11. They could drop all the way down to 10 and they wouldn't care. Less than 10 would be a problem. But I think they want to be at least 12. 14 ideally to get back where they were. 14 with Notre Dame, which would make Notre Dame happy. But that means you got to add 1 or 3 schools. Now, the thing was said about the university was like-minded universities. Remember that for the ACC? In other words, AAU. So Tulane would qualify. South Florida would qualify. Who the hell's the third? And I tell you, if it's just one school, it's South Florida. Because if you lose Florida State and Miami and you got an AAU school that can take their place, they're in. Because they can't lose Florida for recruiting. They can't. South Florida be in. So if it's 3, it's South Florida, Tulane, and the third could be... Do you want to bring in Memphis? Well, there's a lot of ACC members who are quite elitist who are saying that Memphis is beneath them. You thought SMU was you thought, a lot of people, the same people thought SMU was beneath you and they boat raced your conference last year. So if they're beneath you and they boat raced you, what the hell does that make you? Just out of curiosity. So, we're getting off track here, but you kind of get the point here. By the time the ACC tries to go to 9 games, there won't be any school. Number one, there won't be enough schools to go to 9 games with. You'd be down to 12, 11 if you lose 6. You do a 9-game schedule with that? Or are you going to add 1, make it a 12-game schedule? You could stay at 11 if you wanted to. You could. Probably the ACC, I wouldn't. If you lose Florida State and Miami, I'd get South Florida. AAU, academics, football, someone of basketball, get them in, be done. You're at 12, finito. Now, if they want to get it back to 14, that's another story. But the point is this. By the time the SEC goes to 9 games, you don't have enough schools to go to 9 games with. So this conference idea is moot. And ESPN, far as I know, what I've been hearing around here, they're not paying for the 9th game and all the extras until they SEC add schools. So all this is on hold till 2030. So that's why I labeled the title as an ACC Nothing Burger, because it's nothing. The odds of Clemson, Florida State, all of them actually being in divisions in there, they'll be gone before this ever happens. If it even does. The Miami AD suggesting it is kind of funny because his university will be gone. So it doesn't matter. I don't know. A Nothing Burger that some people did explanations for, and people on X, as usual, some of them went completely off the deep end and somewhere around Pluto. But I've done enough talking. Why don't you let me know what you think about all this down in the comments? Excuse me. So thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done already, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. It helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. Do you agree with me that the ACC thing, the whole bifurcation, whatever the friggin' hell it was called, division, going back to divisions and putting all the good brands in one, number one, it's dumb. And number 2, I don't think it's going to happen because all the brands will be gone by the time the SEC goes to 9 games. If you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know what you think down in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done already, check out some of the videos I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. On the way to 1K, trying to make some magic happen. You want to... I already mentioned all this on X a couple days ago. For those of you who are already on X with me, thank you. They already know everything. As I do some stuff on there before the videos come out. But if you want to follow me on X, the craziness that is that place, the link is in the description. Hopefully the link works. So thanks everybody for watching. Everybody's having a great... What day is today? Wednesday? Rainy here in Tennessee. Be safe and please be good to each other.